If someone tells you that money is everything in football, just show them PSG's Champions League runs from the past 12 years. The Parisian club spent over 1.3 billion euros since Nasser El Khelaïfi became the chairman and CEO of the club back in 2011. Even though they dominated Ligue 1, they miserably failed to achieve their main goal, winning the first Champions League title in their history. In today's video, we will be going through the reasons behind PSG's European failures and how, despite dominating the domestic league, PSG's era can only be deemed a failure. The 2011 to 2022 season was Nasser El Khelaïfi's first campaign with PSG. The club failed to lift any trophy despite spending over 100 million euros on Javier Pastore, Thiago Motta, Kevin Gamiro, and many other players. They finished second to Montpellier, were eliminated in the domestic cup's early stages, and even crashed out of the Europa League group stages. Now, we can give PSG a break for that season. The club was under new ownership, and new players needed time to gel. However, we can only give PSG a short break because there is no excuse for failure with the players they brought in next. Thiago Silva, Zlatan Ibrahimovic, Marco Verratti, Ezequiel Lavezzi, Edison Cavani, Marquinhos, David Luiz, Angel Di Maria. These are some of the names that PSG signed from 2012 to 2016 for over 450 million euros. These names helped PSG dominate domestic football as they went on to win 4 consecutive Ligue 1 titles, 2 Coupe de France, 3 Coupe de la Liga, and 4 Super Cups. However, to keep it nice, their Champions League campaigns were average at best. Over the course of 4 seasons, they crashed out of the tournament's quarterfinals twice against Barcelona, once against Chelsea, and once again against Manchester City. Now, to get matters worse, PSG spent over 130 million euros in the 2016 to 2017 summer transfer window, bringing in the likes of Julian Draxler and Goncalvo Guedes. However, they failed to win their 5th consecutive Ligue 1 title after finishing second to Monaco. But surely, PSG went past the Champions League quarterfinals this time, right? Wrong. Their 2016-17 European campaign was even worse than the previous runs, as they crashed out in the tournament's round of 16. To be honest, they did so in a spectacular manner. They demolished Barcelona 4-0 in the first leg in the Parc des Princes, but then completely collapsed as they lost 6-1 in Camp Nou. Going into 2017 to 2018, PSG decided to take revenge on Monaco and Barcelona by signing their best players. The French club broke the world transfer record twice, signing the Brazilian for 222 million euros and offering Monaco 180 million euros for Mbappe, which they paid in the next season. From 2017 to 2020, PSG again dominated the domestic league for 3 consecutive seasons. How could they not with players like Neymar, Mbappe, and Icardi as their front line? They won 2 Coupe de France, 2 Coupe de la Liga, and 4 Super Cups. However, their Champions League runs always remained the same. They failed to pass the Champions League round of 16 during the 2017 to 2018 and 2018 to 2019 seasons, after losing to Real Madrid and Manchester United on that famous night in Paris. However, they reached their first Champions League final in 2019 to 2020. PSG was one step away from achieving the dream. However, Bayern had other thoughts. Ironically, PSG's former academy graduate, Kingsley Coman, scored the game's single goal to deny PSG their first ever European triumph. In the 2020 to 2021 season, PSG only confirmed the purchase of Mauro Icardi from Inter Milan for 50 million euros. However, they lost their Ligue 1 title after finishing second, this time to Lille. They were also eliminated in the Champions League semifinals by Manchester City. During Pochettino's second year with the club, PSG spent over 90 million euros bringing in Achraf Hakimi and Danilo Pereira. However, their strategy during that summer was kind of different. They targeted free agent players, such as Wijnaldum, Donnarumma, Sergio Ramos, and Lionel Messi. Pochettino had a squad filled with stars, and he managed to regain the Ligue 1 title and win the Coupe de France. But unsurprisingly, he failed to get past the Champions League round of 16 as he was eliminated by Real Madrid. And here we are in the 2022-23 season, where PSG tried to take a completely different path regarding their transfer strategy. on June 10, 2022, the club appointed Luis Campos as football advisor, focusing on the performance, recruitment, and organizational side of the team. Campos was known for being Monaco's sporting director from 2013 to 2016. He was the man who oversaw the transfer of the likes of Bernardo Silva, Fabinho, James Rodriguez, and many other players who shined during Monaco's peak. After sacking Pochettino, PSG appointed Christophe Galtier as the head coach. It was clear that PSG's board wanted to change its management approach with the appointment of Campos. Despite the club spending over 140 million euros last summer, they targeted specific players rather than going for names. However, this change in strategy did not bring in any different outcomes. PSG sits comfortably atop the Ligue 1 table and is still in the domestic cups. But as always, they failed to get past the Champions League round of 16 after failing to score in both games against Bayern Munich. We can all agree that PSG's European career is nothing but a failure since they failed to reach their goal despite all the names they brought in and the huge amounts of money they spent. Despite their dominance in the Ligue 1, PSG lost the title twice to two much lesser teams in Monaco and Lille. Their 4 consecutive title wins are not even the best in the French league history. Lyon, who spent nothing compared to PSG, won the Ligue 1 in 7 successive seasons from 2001 to 2008. This proves that El Khalifi's rule on the Parisian club is nothing but a failure. Now, there are many factors why PSG is underachieving, especially in Europe. Since 2011, the club has had no clear recruitment plan. They just tried to bring in any exciting player without concrete squad planning. Icardi, Draxler, Digne, Guedes, Lo Celso, and many other players failed to reach their potential or perform consistently for the club. Assembling a star-studded squad while spending astronomical amounts of money is never a guarantee for success. In fact, it could be an obstacle to the team's collective goal. PSG collected big players with big egos in a single squad, which resulted in Tuchel and Pochettino having no authority over the players and struggling to control the dressing room. I apologize to PSG fans for saying this, but the club feels like it has no culture or personality. The club never had a clear strategy and seemed to change direction easily. They are indeed trying to implement a solid recruitment strategy starting this season, but it won't be a surprise if they decide to abort their plan once things do not go as they want. With Messi's career nearing its end, Neymar going past his peak, and Mbappe likely to leave, PSG's era has definitely ended without achieving their ultimate goal. What do you think PSG's next steps will be? Will they keep faith in Campos and Galtier? Or will they decide to change course once again and start spending big money on players to have a chance to win the Champions League?